Hello everyone! Well, we have some new things, so today is the top games from 2019 to 2024. Hope you get a few new games today. Enjoy watching! Let's go! Well, let's start with one of the most anticipated games, Stalker 2. Despite a lot of problems, the 20th of November the game still reached release. I have not yet finished the game, but I can say that the project is top. But of course not without problems. If you have played the previous games, then in principle, you will be familiar with a lot of things. Anomalies, artifacts, and cloudy, but cool atmosphere. All this is in place. There are more anomalies, and they are made more scaled. Finally, there was a good shooting and feeling of the weapon. Who played in the first part probably remembers that the shooting was as if on cardboard boxes. Here, all this was corrected, and the enemies became much smarter. That is, the shootings are more interesting by an order. But what I didn't like was the simulation of life. Before, as for me, it was better done. Here, somehow more empty, and single stalkers almost no. And in the same places will be the same opponents in the same number. Well, it is clear that the game is still just released, and all this will be corrected by patches. I basically put it off, but I will definitely go through to the end. Days Gone. Cool zombie action that moved in with us from PS4. We play for a biker named Deacon St. John's who loses his wife at the beginning of the zombie apocalypse, and then a few more years actually tried to find it. The game is really long. In addition to the plot line, you have to destroy the camps of bandits, save people, track them, and, of course, fight with hordes of zombies, more precisely freaks. Here they are really hordes. In some cases there are 400 individuals. The world is completely open, but unfortunately not very interesting. Although sometimes the game shows just unreal landscapes that you rush with a motorcycle to just admire the local world. The main character, by the way, we will also be swinging for experience points. The game is very worthy. Frostpunk 2. Continuation of the legendary survival game, City Building. We're still building in a small town around a steam generator while the frost is still there. The first thing that stands out is scale. If we carefully arranged each house there, then we plan to build entire neighborhoods for hundreds of jobs. With the growth of size came and change of construction formula. First, you have to clear the ice. It is also important to see how the areas are located relative to each other. Nearby housing and food buildings can save heat. But besides the cold, tension, and mistrust, in the game there are 4 heralds of the apocalypse. It is hunger, disease, and crime. The Dark Pictures House of Ashes. The most intense part of the entire series, Dark Pictures. It's not scary from monsters, but to lose someone from the team. And the chore is not different from the past parts. But the adrenaline is quite high, so you feel it every time you change a character. You never know when you're playing for him last time. The game starts and ends in a good mood. There are almost no places for boredom. If you haven't played any part at all, I'll tell you a little. The gameplay of the game, as in the whole series, is a mixture of horror and interactive movies. Metro Exodus, Sam's Story, great DLC that will get you there if you're homesick for swamps, spiders, and bandits. In the plot, an American, Sam, wants to get to Vladivostok, where a former Marine plans to go to this, where his father is waiting for him. Actually, there's more humor in Sam's story than all the original game chapters combined. In the game, everything is pretty much the same as before. We wander through the ruins looking for notes, parts, and chemicals, beat the local inhabitants, and methodically shoot out mutants. The authors added snakes that bite by the hand when trying to search the body, electric spiders, and the actual vampire. By the way, there are updates in the arsenal. Pistol of .45 caliber, which resembles M1911, which can be found in, well, almost every second shooter. and an automatic rifle that can fire incendiary bullets. Expeditions, genetic experiments, fights between dinosaurs, and the ability to control the entire process of eliminating problems manually. That's what I loved about the original first part. However, there were some inconveniences. For those who played the first part, it will be more or less clear. But the further you go, the more you notice a lot of small innovations that make the game richer. The interface is more comfortable and the construction is more pleasant. The reputation system was removed, but finally there is a pause and, as I mentioned before, time acceleration, added dynamic day and night shift, improved dinosaur models. They look much better now. Yes, and their behavior is more logical. Now your dinosaur park will look even more alive and beautiful. It's a live-action sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn. The game was released on PS4 and PS5 in 2022. Well, in principle, it's now available for PC. Same with point additions. In the fight, the long and short interaction remained the same. The new skill tree, in addition to being visually more uncomfortable, dilutes some skills. But the only fundamental innovation is the system of Tidal Valor, active skills used for the points that are obtained in battle. This can be both protection from attacks for a while and enhanced treatment, additional damage, and more. The game is not far from the first part. Yes, it looks nicer, but not drastic. God of War, another ported exclusive from Sony. This is the coolest action where besides the subtitle, it's really cool and interesting story. In this part, the developers went to a very different level. Everything has become cinematic and dramatic. The gameplay has also changed. There is a role. We have a third-person look now. Well, you probably know that you will not have to travel alone. During the plot campaign, Kratos and Atreus will visit several worlds of Scandinavia, learn many stories and legends. In terms of the story, the sequel to God of War is head over heels above all previous installments. And this is a huge plus, both for fans who have become older and more demanding since the release of the first parts, and for those who will get to know the series from this game. It's just a fancy platformer designed for cooperative travel. As for gameplay, it is really diverse. Characters are always getting new abilities, but old ones are taken away. So you won't get tired of going through the end. Calm scenes are often interspersed with tense moments. For example, there are puzzles and just walking, and boss fights. Cooperative mode requires two players. That is, one game will simply not pass. The graphics are really stylish and look nice. Great game design, and the locations are just so detailed and interesting. And they're not even the same. Payday 3 is a new part of the cool team action. There are more opportunities for hidden passages in the game than before. Be prepared, however, that the first 10 to 15 hours of all your robberies will end with a shootout. After all, to get caught during the breaking of any door or just on private territory is very easy, after which there will be no way back. But as before, if you give enough time to prepare for the mission and run through it several times, then you can really get a drive-through robbery. The graphics are well, so many locations look at a high level. Dark Souls Remastered is very atmospheric, like a hardcore project, but with a smart complexity. As in the plan of mastering the mechanics, parting and studying the moveset's enemy challenge is present, but in case of serious problems, you will not be forbidden to go and grab yourself the required level. There are already 3 parts, but the first is, as far as I'm concerned, the best part. Just to get into the series, it has adequate complexity, beautiful world, and its clever design. The game is designed in such a way that some locations will return you to the beginning or end of the previous one. The game is understood even by beginners, giving him a location and mobs that are perfect for training Perry. Death Stranding is a great and beautiful project from Hideo Kojima. A simple game where the gameplay creates a road. The road in the middle of huge fields, mountains, diverse landscape that you have to build for yourself. In all this added a primitive shooter against ordinary enemies or more dangerous creatures, the purpose of which is not you, but the most valuable thing you have, namely your cargo. During the trip, we will have all sorts of equipment at our disposal, from climbing ladders to huge bridges, motorcycles, and trucks, as well as weapons ranging from non-lethal action to grenade launchers. All this is well written into the gameplay and with good planning allows them to be used effectively and get to the right place, avoiding any obstacles.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.